Hey guys, Cody Barton here. Welcome to my channel. And I really want to get you to understand how important it is if you want to scale your real estate business, what you need to be tracking, what you need to be paying attention to so that you can make the vital changes that have to be made to go to that next level in your real estate business. For those of you that are maybe just getting started in your real estate business, or maybe those of you that are doing, you've done a few deals, but you're just trying to figure out, man, how do I get to that next level? Well, it comes down to, knowing the data, knowing the numbers, right? And so what I wanted to share is specifically, what are some of those most important things that you have to be tracking within your business so that you can make sure that you can go to that next level? So in short, we call them our KPIs. And what KPIs stand for are our key performance indicators. Those are going to be the trackable, the measurable items within your business that you're tracking on a weekly, on a monthly basis so that you can see how your business is progressing. How did we do this week versus how did we do last week? How did we do this month versus last month? Quarter versus last quarter, year versus year, right? So that's the reason you're going to be keeping track of some of these things. So one of the things that I want you to understand is just how important it is to keep track of this data. And Mark Evans is actually somebody that I follow, and one of the sayings he has is data, not drama, because all of the challenges and everything that's happening in your business currently is all data related. If it's, there's not enough leads coming into your business and, that means you're not getting contracts. Simple. You need more leads. You don't need to know the story of why there wasn't more leads. It's just something where you need to know that you need to be tracking more leads. So let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen and give you kind of an idea. You want to be tracking these in, a certain time frame. So like I was mentioning before, you're going to be tracking on a weekly, you're going to be tracking on a monthly, and then you're also going to be tracking, quarterly and annually. So I'm just going to put quarterly and then annually. So weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, you're going to be tracking these numbers. So then you know where to make adjustments in your business. And so the main things that you want to be paying attention to as you're getting started are, is going to be your leads. And that is how many leads are coming into your business. So, if you can't go back and answer how many leads came into my business the last 7 days, last 30 days, you have a problem because you can't make really good educated decisions if you don't know what your lead count is. So, leads are going to be one of the biggest things. And, what the heck is a lead? I have another video. You can watch that on my YouTube where I talk all about lead generation, more specifically qualifying a lead on the 4 pillars of motivation. So I talk about leads a lot on my YouTube channel. So make sure to go check out the other videos after this one as well. But so leads is going to be one of those trackable items. The next thing here is going to be your cost per lead. Your cost per lead. Excuse my horrendous handwriting, and I'm putting a P is short for per lead. So you have your leads and then your cost per lead. And that's going to be able to help you understand how much does it cost every single time a lead comes into your business. Then another thing that you're going to want to keep an eye on is going to be your contracted, the amount of these leads that you have contracted. And I'm going to put an L for short because I'm doing this with my mouse, but your amount of contracted leads. And then what you're going to want to do is, of those contracted leads that you get, you're then going to want to do your contracts closed. So on your contracts closed, so contracted leads and then contracts of those leads that you contracted, how many of those actually closed? And so why there's 2 metrics here is sometimes what can happen is, say in a month you have a good month and you get 10 of your deals under contract here. But then there's title issues with one of them. Another one, they decide that they don't want to move forward with selling, and whatever other reason, 100,000s of reasons that, deals fall apart. You want to be able to track, okay, you typically contract 10, but out of those 10 you typically contract, usually only 7 of those close, or maybe 6, right? So you want to keep track of that so that you can truly know if you want to set a monetary goal. Like if you want to have, your average assignment, I'm just going to put average fee for short, your average assignment fee, if you make on average, say $10,000 per deal, what you want to be looking at is that I can confidently say, if I typically contract 10 every month and I typically close out of those 10 that I contract, 7 of them, I can say that I'm typically going to make about $70,000 on a monthly basis from tracking that specific number. So keeping track of, hey, how many leads do I get? Of those leads, how many do I typically contract? Of those that I typically contract, how many of those actually close, and how much do I typically make on those? So then you can set goals around how much you want to make. And so with some of these other metrics here, like cost per lead, that's just going to be able to help you understand some things like your cost per closed. I'm just putting C for short, closed deal. So then you can look back and say, okay, on average, a lead costs this much, and out of so many leads, I close, whatever amount of deals. Then you can, do the math and work backwards and see, okay, what does it cost for me? What does it cost per every closed deal that I get? And so, with that, I like to keep track of the marketing overhead on this. So that's what's going to be important there is, keeping track of the cost per closed deal. You're going to be looking at, okay, how much in marketing are we spending every month, and how much are we bringing in revenue each month, to be able to keep an eye on that. And then so another metric on cost that I like to be able to see is, because not all of the costs within your business are going to be related towards just marketing, right? So if you have your cost per closed deal, and you also want to keep track of what your whole operation costs. So if you keep track of all your overhead, that's going to spit out a different number. So say if it, on every deal that you close, that costs you on average $3,000 per deal with with all of your overhead, but just in marketing cost, it's costing you about $2,000. You can see, what is my total overhead, like what am I actually making? So if I make 10 grand on every deal, but it costs me in all my overhead about $3,000 per deal, there's about a $7,000 margin there. So you can start keeping track of your profitability this way. This is going to be able to help you make more educated decisions when you're working through your business and deciding, where you want to spend your time. These are just some of the basic things, basic KPIs to be tracking, but you can get really granular with this and, keep track of keeping track of marketing per channel. So like if you're doing texting, or you're doing cold calling, which, if you're looking for somebody to help you with your cold calling or with your texting, the company that we recommend, it's what we use for all of basically all of our outsourcing services. We utilize vahub.com to do all of that for us. So essentially, they help us with our texting, they help us with our cold calling and everything. And so, when you start getting more granular with this and you look at, okay, I'm doing cold calling, I'm doing texting, I'm doing ringless voicemail, or, direct mail. Those are all like subcategories of your marketing. So you can keep track of, hey, what's my cost per deal look like on cold calling? What's my cost per deal look like on text, RVM, direct mail, all of these different marketing channels. So I know this is probably a little bit overwhelming, if you've never kept track of your KPIs at first. But this is just a good starting point. And if at all else fails, just get started with keeping track of how many leads am I getting, and then start adding these on as you grow. And where do you keep track of this? You don't need to keep it somewhere special. Go on Excel, literally type in, I got this, this many leads this week, and just keep tracking it each week, and then start adding in some of these other things as your business starts to grow. And that would be a good starting point. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask those in the comments below. Let me know if you track your KPIs, if you're not tracking your KPIs. If after this video, you're like, holy crap, I need to track my KPIs. Because at the end of the day, the tracking of this is what's going to be able to make you confident in your business, and you're going to be able to make decisions based off of data, not off of, I feel like we should spend more in this area, or I feel like we should spend more in this area. You can just look at the data and make those decisions from there. So if you got any value from this video, as always, I would ask you to like it, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're getting value. And let me know if this is a video that you like. Would be happy to make more of these. And yeah, so appreciate it, guys. Have a great rest of your day.